Welcome to Coin Explorer. Imagine finding a single coin in your pocket that looks completely ordinary, slightly worn, maybe even forgotten among loose change, and then discovering that under the right circumstances, a coin from the same year once reached an auction price of $862,000. That is not fiction, not exaggeration, but a documented auction result tied to a rare and authenticated example from 1967. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1967 United States quarter dollar, a coin many people have seen, but very few truly understand. This is not just about metal and numbers. It is about history, rarity, timing, and the powerful psychology of collectors. Stay focused until the very end, because every detail builds toward understanding how something so small can sometimes command such extraordinary attention. By the time this video ends, you will never look at a 1967 quarter the same way again. The 1967 quarter dollar is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage. On the front of the coin, you see the left-facing portrait of George Washington, a symbol of leadership and national identity. Above his head is the bold word Liberty, and just below the chin area, you will find the phrase, "In God We Trust." At the bottom, the date 1967 is clearly stamped. This design was originally introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. By 1967, the coin had already been circulating for decades, yet that specific year carries unique historical significance that sets it apart from many others. To understand why 1967 is important, we need to look at what was happening in the United States during the mid-1960s. The country was facing a coin shortage. Rising silver prices had encouraged people to hoard silver coins, removing them from circulation. As a result, the U.S. Mint made a major change starting in 1965. Quarters were no longer made from 90% silver. Instead, they were produced using a copper-nickel clad composition with a copper core. This change reduced production costs and helped stabilize circulation. The 1967 quarter, therefore, is part of the early clad coin era, marking a clear transition point in American minting history. One of the most interesting features of the 1967 quarter is the absence of a mint mark. Normally, U.S. coins include a small letter indicating where they were produced, such as Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, from 1965 through 1967, mint marks were intentionally removed. The goal was to discourage collectors from pulling coins out of circulation in search of specific mint varieties. This decision makes all standard 1967 quarters appear uniform in that sense. At first glance, that might make them seem less exciting, but in reality, it creates a fascinating challenge for collectors because identifying unusual pieces requires much closer inspection. Now let's turn the coin over and look at the reverse. The back of the 1967 quarter features a strong and detailed eagle with wings fully spread. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and just below that, the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Beneath the eagle, you will see a bundle of arrows symbolizing strength, along with olive branches representing peace. At the bottom, the denomination quarter dollar is clearly inscribed. This design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, remained in use until the state quarters program began in 1999. Its bold simplicity and symbolism continue to attract collectors today. At this point, you might be wondering how a clad coin from 1967, produced in large numbers, could ever be associated with an auction price of $862,000. The key lies in rarity and verified uniqueness. Most 1967 quarters are common and worth face value. However, in rare cases, minting errors or extraordinary characteristics can transform an ordinary coin into something exceptional. For example, if a coin was accidentally struck on the wrong metal, such as a silver planchet intended for another denomination, it immediately becomes rare. If that coin is preserved in remarkable condition and authenticated by professional grading services, its value can increase dramatically. Condition plays a critical role in the coin market. Collectors use a grading scale to evaluate how well a coin has been preserved. Coins found in everyday circulation often show wear on high points like Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. However, coins that were never circulated and stored carefully may retain sharp details and original luster. These are classified as mint state coins. Within that category, even small differences in surface quality can make a significant impact on value. When a rare minting anomaly is combined with an exceptionally high grade, the result can capture intense interest from serious collectors. The documented auction result of $862,000 reflects a specific 1967 quarter that stood apart due to its verified characteristics. It's important to understand that this price was achieved in a competitive auction environment, where multiple bidders recognized the rarity and historical significance of that individual coin. Auction houses rely on professional authentication and grading before presenting such pieces to the market. This process ensures transparency and confidence for buyers. When collectors compete for a coin they believe is unique or nearly impossible to duplicate, bidding can escalate quickly. Another factor that drives extraordinary prices is provenance. Provenance refers to a coin's ownership history. If a rare 1967 quarter has been part of a well-known collection or previously featured in notable auctions, that history can add prestige and desirability. Collectors often value documented backgrounds because they provide reassurance and narrative depth. A coin is not just metal, it becomes part of a story. When rarity, condition, authentication, and provenance align, the stage is set for a powerful auction moment. It's also essential to approach stories like this with balanced understanding. The majority of 1967 quarters in circulation today are standard clad coins with no unusual features. They remain 25 cents. However, the existence of rare exceptions encourages careful observation. Collectors examine details such as weight, strike quality, alignment, and surface anomalies. Even subtle differences can signal something unusual. If someone believes they have discovered a unique example, the responsible step is to consult a reputable coin dealer or submit the coin to a professional grading service for evaluation. The excitement surrounding rare coins often captures public attention because it connects everyday life with the possibility of discovery. Many people have jars of old coins stored at home. The idea that a coin from 1967 could, under rare circumstances, achieve a price of $862,000 creates curiosity and motivation to learn more. Yet, knowledge is the most powerful tool in this process. Understanding composition, minting history, and grading standards prevents unrealistic expectations and supports informed decisions. The year 1967 itself adds historical context. The late 1960s were a time of social change, technological advancement, and cultural transformation in the United States. Coins minted during that era passed through countless hands, participating silently in daily commerce. From grocery stores to gas stations, these quarters were part of everyday transactions. Decades later, a rare example emerging in pristine condition reminds us how objects from ordinary moments can gain extraordinary recognition. Collectors are often driven by a combination of passion and discipline. They research auction records, study grading reports, and track market trends. When a rare 1967 quarter appears in a major sale, it attracts attention not only for its potential value, but also for what it represents in minting history. The transition from silver to clad composition marked a turning point in U.S. coinage. Owning a rare piece from that transitional era carries symbolic weight within the numismatic community. As you continue watching, think about how easily remarkable items can be overlooked. A small detail, barely visible to the naked eye, might separate a common coin from a rare one. That's why serious collectors use magnification, precision scales, and professional evaluations. The process is methodical and patient. Quick assumptions rarely lead to accurate conclusions. Instead, careful examination and expert verification define the path to understanding true value. In the end, the story of the 1967 United States quarter dollar is a reminder that history and rarity can intersect in expected ways. Most examples will always remain simple pieces of currency. Yet the rare authenticated coin that achieved $862,000 at auction demonstrates what can happen when unique characteristics meet strong demand. It's a powerful illustration of how collectors assign value based on scarcity, condition, and verified authenticity. Before we close, take a moment to reflect on the coins around you. While not every 1967 quarter holds extraordinary value, each one represents a piece of American history. Awareness transforms ordinary objects into subjects of curiosity. If you found this journey insightful, stay tuned for more stories about the hidden potential within everyday collectibles. Thank you for watching. Keep exploring, keep learning, and never underestimate the stories that small details can tell.